Yes, welcome along to episode 14 of Upping The Ante with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch, counting down to the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. You loved it, didn't you? Of course you loved it. The Dublin Racing Festival lived up to all expectations and more. Gavin Lynch, I just didn't want to attend.
Yeah, no, it was a brilliant weekend. I think Irish racing needed to pick me up after the few things that went wrong in January, but this was just the cure to all hangovers. It was just amazing.
It was like brilliant performance after brilliant performance, and then there was another brilliant performance, and you were trying to get your head around it all, and serious Cheltenham implications.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, even in its own right, it was fantastic. Like, I can't remember 2 days of better racing since, let's say that Cheltenham went to 4 days 15 years ago. I can't remember 2 days of better racing. It looked like it was going to be top class, but the performance we got in the grade ones were just like 7 favourites and a second fab, so good weekend for punters. But they all bolted up really, and one was more impressive than the other.
Now, right? Had you a highlight? One moment that stood out for you?
I'd say Honeysuckle. Now, I actually later saw...
so she must have been good if
no,
it's a highlight.
Even coming down to the last, even though I was actually hoping she winged it. I don't know why, but she's fantastic.
You're a lovely guy, really.
No, but even Shishkin, Energamine, sure, we can go on and on and on. Kilcrut maybe a highlight.
Okay, we can go on and on and on. And Gavin is going to do the week that was in about 10 minutes, and it's going to last till about August. So I suppose we better get on with the show. And before we do, Gavin, you've some news of your cycle.
Yeah, the charity cycle, the Coast to Curra with the 7 race course and 2 stud farms, we're changing the date because of COVID. It wouldn't be right to have it in May. So it was May the 22nd, and I've now changed it to Saturday, September the 25th. There's racing on that day in the Curra, so it's the same plan but a different date.
Now, Gavin is saying he's changing because of COVID, but really it's because of me, because he doesn't think I'm fit enough to do the whole cycle in June. So
well, there's no excuse now anyway.
So we're changing it to September. Thanks very much, Gavin.
No bother.
I've no excuse now. We'll get on with the show. So, Upping The Ante viewers, you know the drill by now. We're going to kick off with our questions from the crowd. And the first one this week comes in from Harry Tulk. And Harry wants to know if Shishkin, Envoi Allen and Monkfish were sent off at the same price for their respective races at the Cheltenham Festival, which one would you lay, Gavin Lynch?
I think it's an easy question.
See, I actually said before the show, this is a real tough one, Gavin. And Gavin goes, no, it's actually easy.
Yeah, I think there's 4 outstanding chasers, novice chasers.
4?
Yeah, those 3 in Energamine. So obviously the one I'd lay, if I had to lay one, would be Shishkin. The tactics in the Arkle are going to be very interesting because of All Mankind and Energamine will both want to lead. So what's going to happen there? And also Shishkin, in his chases so far, he's made 1 or 2 small mistakes early on in the race. So if he did that again, I think Monkfish is probably the bet of the week.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he's a certainty, yeah.
Wow.
And
this time last week you were thinking latest exhibition would beat him.
I just didn't think that Monkfish had the gears for 2.5. He'd never shown those before, but at the weekend he was amazing. Envoi Allen to me looks a certainty. The 2 races, the RSA, or it's now called the Festival, Novice Chase, and the Marsh, I don't think there's much strength and depth, whereas taking on Energamine, like Energamine's time was quicker than Shishkin. So
1.3 seconds.
Yeah, so if I had to lay one, it'd just about be Shishkin, yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't lay Shishkin because I think out of them all, he's probably the most talented. That's a huge statement, I know.
Yeah.
But there's very little between them. They're all fantastic horses. But I think if I was to pick one to lay, it would be the opposite. It would probably be Monkfish, because I just think that race, it could throw up a few stayers, and I don't know if Royal Pagaille Run probably won't because Monkfish is there. I think the Big Breakaway is a good horse, and there's just a few little things that could just upset him. But he is fantastic. Obviously.
He is, yeah. Look at
that's rubbish. He'll probably win.
But I don't think we've seen 4 novice chasers this good. I can't remember 4 novice chasers this good.
You're 56, are you?
I'm 82, yeah.
Yeah. So for you, it is Shishkin.
Shishkin, he's even money at the moment on the machine. I don't think he'll go off odds on.
Okay, and for me, it's Monkfish, but it's a hard watery argument. Our second question comes in from Kevin Newman, and Kevin wants to know, Gavin, of all the Grade 1 winners at the Dublin Racing Festival, which one is the least likely to follow up at the Cheltenham Festival? And we must remember, last year at the Dublin Racing Festival, there were only 3 horses that ran at the meeting that went on.
And only one of them had won.
Yeah.
So, look, we can't get, I suppose, too carried away, but just when you see the performances, it's hard not to. The 8 Grade 1 winners, Saturday we had 4. Gaillard Du Mesnil won by 5 lengths, Shishkin by 8 lengths, Energamine by 10 lengths, and Honeysuckle 10 lengths. Sunday, Quilixius by 5.5, Appreciated 3.25, Monkfish 11 and Kenboy 2. So apart from Kenboy, the one that might get bet, I suppose, the most likely is Quilixius. It's the biggest price. I think it's around, say, 5 or 6 to 1 for the Triumph. It has to beat Zana here from the same stable. So if I had to pick one, 8 brilliant horses, but well, obviously I can't see him maybe even running the Gold Cup, but I'd say Quilixios. Who would you go for?
Yeah, of course, the question was, apart from Kenboy, look, I can see Quilixios. I think that Zana here is the bomb. I think Zana here is the best. I said it last week, I think he's the best value favourite at the Cheltenham Festival.
Do you think he could be a champion hurdle horse in time?
Yeah, but he could potentially be a chaser as well.
Yeah.
Quilixios especially could be a chaser. I would be very much thinking Quilixios for next year's Arkle. That's how good I think he is, yeah. As regards these favourites, which one is the most likely to be beaten at Cheltenham? I would just about go for Galar de Menil, because
don't say that.
I think that's a hell of a race.
I don't say that.
I do, because Brave Man's Game is awesome. Bob Ollinger, like Rachel Blackmore spoke on ITV last weekend, and she said Bob Ollinger gave her a feel like she hadn't gotten a long time. And think of all the amazing horses that she sat on. So that was an interesting comment from her. I think that's a really strong race to Ballymore. I just think Brave Man's Game is spectacular.
It'll be interesting.
Galar de Menil for me.
Okay, Quilixios for me.
There you go. And our final question this week comes in from John Redmond. And if we have any British viewers watching, close your ears, cover your eyes, because John wants to know, how many winners are Ireland going to get at the Cheltenham Festival, Gavin? Is it going to be a record-breaking year?
It could be. I suppose what they call the Prestbury Cup, sure, I suppose Ireland have to be 5s on at this stage to win that.
Yeah.
So there's 28 races, so 1st to 15. It's like they try and make it like a Ryder Cup, but the last number of years that we've had, starting in 2013, 14 winners, 12, 13, 13. In 2017, we had 19 winners. Then we had 17, 14, and last year 17. So we have to get to 20. Now, one thing that will help in getting to that is that the novice handicap chase is gone, which mightn't have suited maybe the Irish horses, and replaced with a mare's chase. I think would good chance of winning that. So one less handicap, conditional race in, or a graded chase. So we have to get to 20.
Okay, do you think the British handicappers, right, will be thinking to themselves, this could be a complete Irish domination, and they could crucify Irish horses and handicaps?
They could. For example, already the Boss's Oscar, who I've tipped up for the Pertemps final, has an Irish rating of 143, and the British handicapper last week came out and gave him a rating of 151. Which seems very excessive, but anyway, that's just what can you do.
So it could happen.
Yeah, usually they get 3 or 4 pounds extra. Okay. Last year in the handicaps, I think Britain won 3 of the 5 handicap chases, and Ireland won 3 of the 5 handicap hurdles. So that was an even split, 5 each.
Okay, give me a score. Give me a score, Gavin.
19.
19.
Joint record.
19-9.
It would be, yeah.
Okay, I'll go for 28.
28. 28-0.
Hey, no, 28 and 19-9.
Yeah.
There we go. That's our views on the Prestbury Cup. Now it's time for the week that was. Yes, Gavin Lynch's chance to tell you all about the horses that impressed him over the last week. So I'm just going to go down to the pub, have a couple of pints, and come back in about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're closed. They're closed. I'm going to have to stay here listening to you. Go on.
Obviously, the only place to start is Warwick on Wednesday.
Oh, God, Gavin. The Supreme is on in them any 5 weeks.
So we're going to start Warwick on Wednesday. Annie Mack. She's now 9 to 1 for the mare's chase. She beats Zambella by 5.5 lengths. Jumped really, really well. Looked and maybe a dot of bother turning in, but got there easily in the end. She's very, very solid. Yeah. I can definitely see her in the first 3 in the mare's chase.
Do you know she's owned by Chris Hughes? Do you know was it Love Island? I think he was on. And his enthusiasm for the game is incredible. I know you're not on Twitter, but to follow him on Twitter, the emotion and everything that's involved, it's brilliant to see. That is what racehorse ownership is.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And it kills him not to be there, But I just thought the whole story about Annie Mack is fantastic.
But she, big chance of being in the first 3 at least in the mare's chase. On to Saturday in Sandown, a horse that you mentioned previously, Sporting John. You always liked him.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Now, 69 to 1 in running. I
was going to say at least. Early on, it was out the back, it was last, it was jumping badly, it was jumping a bit to its left. But maybe they went too quick. Shan Blue was leading, was taken on, and in the end, Sporting John won by 3 3/4 lengths. He's 12 from the marsh, 16s, I think, for the festival chase. To me, he looks like a 3-miler. I think he'd have no chance in a marsh over 2.5. He just wouldn't have the gears.
He must have some engine, Gavin, to win, given how sloppily he jumped, especially early on. And it was Richard Johnson at his most glorious. He was fantastic on Saturday. Deisha Abba, he was just fantastic. Native River, obviously, as well.
Yes.
Oh. brilliant day
so
for Dick.
a good performance to win the Grade 1, Sporting John. On now to Native River, who's a fantastic horse. He's exactly the horse I love. He just tries his hardest every time. Even though he's 11 years old, he won very easily from Bristol to Mai by 9.5 lengths. My old buddy Santini, I won't have to get me shirt off next November.
No.
He was beaten 17 lengths, and still there's fellas backing him at 12 to 1 for the Gold Cup, which seems strange to me.
People won't get to see that big tattoo you have underneath that
Yeah,
shirt.
correct, yeah.
Because Santini has no chance.
No, I don't think so. Even change into left-handed. St. Calvados, who you've mentioned before, just didn't travel or jump brilliant, I would have said at the time.
No. Well, it was very early, obviously, when he fell, but didn't look like it was going too well, did it?
Yeah, no. So Native River 16 to 1 for the Gold Cup. Because he's 11, I just couldn't have him. He's going to be up in front with Frodon, etc. He'll run his race, but you'd imagine something will
Is
beat
it
him.
just age, though? Like, because I think he's rated 172 now.
Yeah.
So, like, if it turned into a slog, he'd have to have a chance.
Yeah, if the ground came up heavy, he'd have a chance.
Yeah.
Like, he's a Welsh national winner, so, yeah. Now we're on to Leopardstown on Saturday. A horse that I love, Galler Dumanil, beat Gentleman's Game and Statler by 5 lengths. He's now into 130 favourite for
Good
Ballymore.
pick, Gavin. Good pick. You spotted him before most people.
Yeah, just his time at Christmas and stuff like that was very, very good. As we said before, because the ground was soft, I think that had a huge impact on the performance of the weekend. William Mullins went at the festival gung-ho, you know.
Yeah, he did. Wow.
The horse that were second, third and fourth, I'd be very interested in them. Obviously, they're at the top of the market for the Bartlett. I would still think that Statler is the most likely winner. I see he's 9 to 1 in places to win the Bartlett. I think that's a great price because he's the one that tried to win the race. He kicked on 3 out, 2 out. He looked to have a lot of them in trouble turning in, including for a moment Galler Dumanil.
Now, Lydia Hislop and Tony Calvin, two very shrewd judges, have gone for Fakira in the Albert Bartlett.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's that old-fashioned profile that we used to love for the Albert Bartlett. Loads of races, knows that he stays, can get down and dirty. So you can see where they're coming from.
Yeah, I've had a good bet on Statler for the Bartlett, and I had a saver on Fakira. Gentleman's Game, I'll come back to him in a sec. Gentleman's Game belonged to Mouse Morris. Mouse said beforehand, not certain to go to Cheltenham because he thinks the world of him, and he doesn't think he'll do his career the best to send him this year to Cheltenham. But Fakira, the thing I'd have against him, I watched the race twice yesterday, is that from 3 out to 2 out, he was off the bridle, and then he stayed on. I think if they ride Statler in 5th or 6th in the Bartlett and produce him late, I think he'll have more gears than Fakira.
And can I just defend myself? So I tipped up Ashdale Bob for the Albert Bartlett, but he scoped rotten after the race. It was in the Stewart's report afterwards that he scoped dirty, mucus in the lugs. So you can just forget about that performance, and hopefully he gets to Cheltenham.
Hopefully.
In one piece, yeah. Funny, I was walking into the races and I met Gary O'Brien. I was like, fancy hatting today, Gary? Ashdale Bob. I was like, me too. Thought it was written in the stars.
But not to be.
It was written in the mud.
Shishkin Pursois next. He's now odds on 5 to 6 for the champion chase. He was brilliant. He beat Fakadu by 8 lengths.
I think he's underrated.
Yeah, he probably is. The one thing that's amazing.
What more could he do? Like?
Yeah, I think what suited him is that they've been pushing on with him 3 out, 2 out the last few times. This time he got a lead to the last, and I think it suited him much, much better. And just he sprinted away up.
I have to say, I thought all weekend. I know he was on the best horses, but Paul Townend was flawless. He is riding better than he's ever ridden in his life. He's riding with confidence, and it's not easy going into these races, being expected to win them, following on from Ruby Walsh. It's not easy, like.
No.
There's a lot of pressure, and he is delivering over and over again.
I tell you what is not a huge worry, but a worry for Willie Mullins is that he needs Paul Townend fit for Cheltenham. It's 5 weeks today. I'd say he'll be minding him with kid gloves now for the next.
Cotton wool.
Yeah, no, he needs him because he's riding fantastic. Shishkin Pursois, even though he's 9 years old, he seems to be getting better with age. Min was pulled up at halfway rightly by Patrick Mullins. Made some terrible mistakes. He banked one down the back.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give up on him with the Ryanair, but obviously he'd have to jump a million times better the next time.
As Patrick said in his column in the Racing Post today, he said he did a good advert for Specsavers.
Yeah.
That was good, wasn't it?
It was.
You would have been proud of that one.
I would.
Yeah.
Energamine is next. He's now generally 5-2 for the Arkle, which I think is a very fair price.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Time was obviously, I think, 1.3 seconds quicker than Shishkin Pursois, so it was a really good performance.
Fantastic performance. It was flawless. Now, he didn't get taken on for the lead, so that's happened now at Gorham Park. It's happened at Naas, and it happened again at the weekend. What's going to happen in the Arkle that we mentioned earlier with All Mankind? Who's going to get to lead? Is Paul going to sit in second? Now, he says that Energamine will settle, no problem.
Yeah, he's told me twice, no problem. I'd be happy to take a lead, he said.
Okay. And then we've got the thing about Shishkin making 1 or 2 mistakes early on. So to me, it's going to be one of the maybe the race at the festival.
Okay, here's one for you. If there was no such thing as Shishkin, heaven forbid, but if there was no such thing as Shishkin, what price would Energamine be for the year?
We mentioned this a month ago, that it'd be great to see people betting without Shishkin and Envoi Allen.
Listen to you, Gavin.
So they were, I think, 7-4 before the weekend, or maybe a week ago, and now they're 4-6. I thought they might go 4-5, but there you go.
Would you take in the 4-5?
I would chance them in a multiple, yeah.
Would you?
I would, yeah.
5 weeks before Christmas. Before Christmas. Before Cheltenham.
It is Christmas.
Before Cheltenham.
It's our Christmas.
5 weeks before. He has to get there. 4-5.
Yeah, well, sure, what's
There's
going on?
no man runner, no back.
I know that, but all mankind's not going to beat him, so.
Yeah.
Also on Leopardstown, maybe the performance of the weekend was Honeysuckle. Beats Abracadabras by 10 lengths in a fast time of 4 minutes and 1 second. Just brilliant for Rachel Blackmore. I tipped up Honeysuckle for last year's champion hurdle, and she went for the Mayors. This time I thought she'd go for the Mayors, and now she's going for the champion hurdle.
Who did you tip up for this year's champion hurdle?
Sanwa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
No, there's no point in him even going to Cheltenham.
No. Your first tip as well.
Yeah, no,
I just so confident.
Yeah, I just
the
was
only
so
reason
impressed.
I'm slagging you is because your tips are so good. I need to take you down when there is one that didn't go well.
So she was getting the £7, but that didn't matter. She's now won 6 Grade 1s. She's unbeaten. She's 10 from 10 in the track, plus a point to point. So she's already one of the greatest mares of all time. Like, she's as good as Apple's Jade already, do you know? So
okay, you have to speak now with your heart and your head and not your pocket.
Okay.
Should she definitely go for the champion hurdle?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Good man, Gavin.
100%.
And it's going to cost you money.
It is, but look
your love of the game is more important.
Yeah, no, she has to go for the champion hurdle, and to have 2 mares up at the top of the betting, I don't know how the boys are going to give them £7 and beat them.
I think Henry holds the key to the champion hurdle now. I think he could have the reverse forecast. Honeysuckle Last Bar Tower.
Okay. Then we're on to the last race of the day, the Grade 2 bumper, and I don't know where Kilcrook was for the first mile and a half of that race, because he just joined them before they turned in or something.
Yeah. Went down to the lap in for a pint. Came back. I'll see you on the way in, lads.
It was just unbelievable. It was a fast time of 4:02.8.
Now the race fell apart, Gavin. That's one thing we need to say.
Yeah. It was a good race. Like, you had Ramilles in there, you had Gavin Cromwell's, let's be clear about it, who was only beaten 4.5 lengths by Sir Gerhard, and Kilcrook beats him by 12, and it could have been twice that.
It could have been, it definitely could have been 25.
It was incredible. He posted a faster time than Abracadabras did, right? He also posted the 2 mile handicap. Yeah, they have to jump 8 hurdles, but even so, generally bumpers might be 2 seconds quicker than hurdle rest. But he beats Drop the Anchor with the equivalent of 6.5 lengths, given at £22. Like, you have to remember that Kilcrook carried 11.13, Abracadabras only carried 11.12. Anyway, it was an amazing performance on the clock.
And another interesting thing to come out of that was Willie tried to get him to ride Ramilles and said, you know, I think you should ride this horse. And after the race, Willie said, God, I fancied Ramilles. I thought Patrick was on the wrong one. And
well, as Tony Mullins might have said, he wouldn't be as good a horse, only I trained him last March.
He did. I've done a few Cheltenham preview nights with Tony Mullins.
And he was raving about them, wasn't he?
Get on this horse kind of thing, you know.
And he got beat.
It was after Cheltenham, wasn't it? Yeah, it was after Cheltenham.
Yeah, the run.
Carmel.
Yeah. And it was second.
The run. What do you think? The Cheltenham preview night.
So, on to Sunday, we're going to start with Musselburgh, a horse called Bareback Jack. There's 25s to the Supreme.
Would he have won?
If third time lucky
minimum
I'd say he probably would have, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he would have as well, yeah.
I
thought third time lucky had every chance to go by, and he didn't.
No. Bareback Jack is now 3 from 3 over hurdles. Will he go to Cheltenham or not? I suppose he'd have a small chance. He's 25s. Back to Leopardstown again. Quilixios, as we said earlier, beat St. Sam, your horse that you have for the Boodles.
Oh, I love him.
By 5.5 lengths.
Yeah. What do you think for St. Sam for the Boodles?
Yeah, it just depends.
136.
136. Has he got that?
Beautiful.
Yeah, 136. Yeah, that's okay. Change of tactics with St. Sam to make all the running. He jumped well, travelled well. And just to say to you, the time was very, very fast, which is good news for you. So the time of the race was 4:05 and Appreciator was 4:06.9, so almost 2 seconds quicker.
I'm just thinking, in the Boodles, if that's where Willie goes, Willie, if you're watching, and Willie's a big fan of the show.
Okay. If
you're watching Willie, there's no point in going for the triumph. You have got a Cheltenham Festival race wrapped up with St. Sam if he goes for the Boodles.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a handicap, so you can never be certain, but yeah, you'd have a big chance on it. Quilixios is now 6-1 second favourite.
Brilliant performance. See, the thing is, right, there's been so many brilliant performances all weekend that a horse like Quilixios that wins a Grade 1 emphatically always looks
visually
like
he wasn't amazing, but
like he won it. Watching the race, you were going, there's only one horse going to win here the whole way.
Yeah.
You're going, he travelled, he jumped, he did everything right. He goes and he wins by a wide margin, and you say that was a glorious performance. And in any given day, it would have been the highlight of the day. And yet we're kind of forgetting about him because there was so many other brilliant performances. But I think he's a very good horse. Mightn't be as good as Anna here, but he does deserve credit. And in fairness, everybody was saying, Gordon's, will he dominate at the festival? But you could perhaps say Delta Work. But like the rest of his horses ran reasonably. Like he had no horses that you say that ran shocking, that should have won.
He didn't have many short price horses for the weekend anyway.
And the one he had was Quilixios, and he won. So
I think if Quilixios is going to beat Zana here, he will definitely want at least soft ground at Cheltenham. If the ground is good to soft, Zana here will have too many gears from.
No Zana here.
And to mention as well, I know we've said it before, but that's 4 out of 4 for Quilixios. It won a maiden hurdle, I think, last March in France. But the Triumph is not a novice hurdle, it's just a hurdle for 4-year-olds.
Correct.
Appreciate It, would you say Appreciate It was more impressive at Christmas or on Sunday?
Well, see, this is the thing. Visually, he was more impressive at Christmas, but I thought there was a little more substance to what he did on Sunday.
Well, what's interesting is that Irascible, who was second to him at Christmas, Appreciate It beat it by 9 lengths. And how many lengths was between them on Sunday?
I would say 9.
9. So you could say it was the same performance, judging by Irascible. Blue Lord, your horse was third. Ballyadam ran much better. Obviously, he was sick at Christmas.
There was a kind of fleeting moment where you're going, and then...
Yeah, Ballyadam travels fantastic. Just, again, every day he makes a couple of mistakes. And he did so again on Sunday. So, a horse to watch out for. If you get a chance, look at the replay of the race again. Hook Up jumped terribly. She stayed on to be 4th. If she runs, well, she will run the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. And in the Mayor's Novice, there's only 2 hurdles in the last 7.5 furlongs. In running, I'll be watching Hook Up. And if she jumps anyway well, I think she's got a good chance. Because to run that well against the boys was good.
I was tempted to tip her up this week.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I was.
The next horse we're going to talk about is the mighty, amazing, unbelievable Monkfish.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that just over a year ago, he looked like a slow hurdler.
Beaten by Dial Kerr, 7 lengths of fair he has.
Yeah, and then he gets better and better. This season, I backed the latest exhibition each way because I just thought the 2 mile 5, the latest exhibition, would have more gears. Totally wrong. Monkfish was amazing. I tell you what he is, he's a natural nimble jumper. Is that a fair description?
But it's just like it's rare for a novice to meet every fence on the perfect stride all the time. That's what he does, like.
Yeah, he's an athlete, isn't he?
Oh, God.
And the other thing to point out is that his time was 7 seconds quicker than the handicap chase.
Yeah.
So every way you look, times, what he's beaten, like to beat Andy Dufresne in Asterion for Lounge by 17 and 18 lengths and 11 lengths to latest exhibition, like it's unbelievable for him. Paul Townend said to Willie afterwards that he should have ran him in the Irish Gold Cup. He would have bet Kenboy, wouldn't he?
Well,
I think he would have.
I know earlier on in the show I said like he might be the one that of the 3 hot pots that you might lay, but like the more I think about it, the more I think that's probably Codswallop, right? But if he ran, right, if something, God forbid, happened to Alvin Photo and...
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, I know, but if, and it's a stupid question, I hate these...
Would he win the Gold Cup?
Would he win? Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
Eventually. I'd have to think about it. He'd have a massive chance, yeah.
I don't think I would. I think he would.
He'd have a great chance. But he's just an amazing racehorse. Next year, what's going to be very interesting is, we were chatting about this the other day, is that himself and Envoi Allen, right? I'd imagine Envoi Allen will go to Down Royal for the second season novice over 2.5. I wonder would Monkfish reappear maybe in the John Durkin over 2.5, not sure. I would imagine Monkfish will go to Leopardstown at Christmas for the Savills. And I wonder would Envoi Allen maybe go to Kempton for the King George. Flat 3 miles, easier to stay, I'm not sure. But I'd imagine the first time they'll meet is in the Gold Cup next year.
Imagine this time next year if we were standing here talking about a Gold Cup joint favourites, Envoi Allen and Monkfish.
It'd be amazing.
Oh, God.
Yeah. No, that's why National Hunt Racing is better than Flat.
Big Breakaway could be favourite this time next year.
The great thing about National Hunt Racing compared to the Flat is we have
didn't
these...
even acknowledge that question.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, who knows, this time next year the Big Breakaway could be favourite for the Gold Cup.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Go on anyway.
But I was going to say that the great thing about National Hunt Racing is that we get to savour these horses for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Correct.
So compared to the Flat.
How are we getting on? Have
Good.
much to go?
No, not too bad. We're on to the Irish Gold Cup. Kenboy, none of these will win the Gold Cup. Cheltenham. Kenboy, I think we'll even mention something at the Stairs Hurdle afterwards.
He did, yeah.
He's 12 to 1 for the Gold Cup. Delta Work is 40s. Manella Indo is 20s. Mellon was last to 5.
Right, Mellon, right? I'm gutted that Mellon didn't get a chance to just give it a lash. Give it a lash, Jack. Put him out in front. Get him jumping. And I think it was try. I can see where they were coming from. They said, we'll try and get him to stay. We'll ride him a bit differently and we'll try and pounce, okay? But you're asking a horse to do something that he doesn't like doing. And I think... but
Willie Mullins had no choice because at Christmas the two of them took each other on and they got beat.
I know.
So if you're Willie Mullins, you're going to say, lads, don't do that again.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying...
And he was right because Kemba won the race.
Yeah, of course he was, right? But potential-wise, I would love to see them flipped around, if you know what I mean. I would love to see what Mellon could have done if he was where Kemba was over the first few fences and let him roll. Because... do you remember Fleming-Star, obviously? When Fleming-Star ran in the Lexus, the famous Lexus with Tidal Bay, and Andrew Lynch rode him completely differently to how he used to ride him because he was stepping up and trip, okay? I think if Fleming-Star was ridden the way Fleming-Star likes to be ridden that day, instead of being held up, I think he would have won. I think he would have won.
So you're saying ride them the way they like it, no matter what the trip?
Yeah, no matter what the trip. Let them enjoy themselves. And Mellon, I'm telling you now, right, he might go for the Ryanair, but if he did go for the Gold Cup, and if he was popped out in front, and Patrick could ride him in a Gold Cup, popped out in front, Gavin, he's going to be a glorious sight, and he could have them on the stretch coming down the hill.
No, you're dreaming. He's 50-1 for the Gold Cup, and
I know, but
he
do you
wouldn't
see
stay.
my point?
I know, but he wouldn't stay, I don't think. What will be interesting in the Ryanair is when you have Mellon, Allaho and Min, 3 stable companions, all like to be up there.
Mellon in the Gold Cup.
Save you the bother. Second last race to talk about is Monday in Fairyhouse yesterday for us is Rosie's Hollow. She beat the horse I tipped up, Royal Kahala. Yeah. Now, Royal Kahala was giving her £4, but I was disappointed. I thought Royal Kahala would win. I backed her. I thought that she never really travelled.
No.
To me, she didn't look like the Royal Kahala that I've watched for the last 2 or 3 runs. So I just wonder, was there a problem or was there something?
The only scant consolation for you is you could have tipped Castor Vetera for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle.
That would be worse,
like some idiots.
So Rosie's Hollow is now 6-1, Royal Kahala 7-1, Galwa, who was third, that we mentioned we might take on as a fav, she's 9-1.
Castor Vetera there?
Castor Vetera is 126-1. But Rosie's Hollow travelled very well, quickened up down the inside. Looks a very decent horse.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Previous winners of that race, by the way, the Solarina, Manila Melody, Honeysuckle, Lorena, Shattered Love and Limini. So,
and go back a bit further, Jatan de Burley won it and went on to win a Grade 1.
Okay, so top class race usually. Quickly want to mention a horse that we said last week, Unique Atat, I think is how you pronounce it. It won the cross-country chase at Poe at the weekend by a half a length.
Where you were going
there you go. Right. And it's now 12-1 for the cross-country, so that would have a chance. It's after winning, I think, 5 or 6 cross-countries in France.
There's nothing you miss, is there?
So, Unique Atat. JP won 3 of the handicaps out of 5 at Leopardstown.
Poe?
No, not Poe, no. At Leopardstown, there was 5 handicaps and JP won 3 of them, so it's just to bear that in mind. And he won, I think, again, 3 or 4 of the handicap hurdles at Cheltenham last March. So.
I think he could be winning one at Cheltenham as well, but one that didn't win. People are going to have to stay tuned to find out. Gavin, is that the week that was?
That's it.
That is the week that was. Each week here on Upping The Ante, we preview one of the big races at the Cheltenham Festival. And this week, we're going to have a look at the opener. The race that kicks off the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. It is the Supreme Novices Hurdle. And at the moment, after his performance at the weekend, Appreciated is 7-4 favourite. Metier is 7-1, runs in the Betfair Hurdle on Saturday. And 9-1 Ballyadam, and it's 14-1 Bar. Gavin, Appreciated value or not at 7-4?
I wouldn't be getting carried away. Obviously, he won a bumper over 2.5. He definitely looks like a 2.5 mile horse. He was favoured for the Ballymore before he ran. And then because he bolted up, he won well in Cork from Aston McShee. He won very well at Christmas. He won fairly well the other day. I backed him and I tipped him up last year.
You're not.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting on the fence a bit. I tipped him up and backed him last year to win the bumper. Loved him turning in, and then Farney Hollow just went straight past him. Now, he's a brilliant horse. But I just wonder if the ground came up, if it was soft, it would suit him to make it more of a staying race. I know that
it'll be good soft. They'll have watered if it's good weather.
The better the ground, it might suit the others. It'd be very interesting to see Metier this weekend at the Betfair Hurdle off 149.
So just with Appreciated, okay, Champagne Fever, Classical Dream and Vaughter won what is now the Chanel Farm and Novice Hurdle, was the Delight, okay? Won it and went on to win the Supreme in the last decade, okay? Where is Appreciated in that calibre, like?
Well, he's not as quick as them. Like next year when he goes chasing, like he'll definitely end up in a march.
Not as quick as them, but Champagne Fever wanted further, really.
Yeah.
Vaughter went on to run over further. Classical Dream, obviously, we don't know.
Just doesn't
He
look...
probably has enough pace to cope, though, does he?
Yeah, like he's 7-4 favourite, and rightly so. He's looked very good 3 out of 3. But next year I could see him running in a Marsh or maybe even an RSA.
Yeah.
I just think... I don't know. I'd be sitting on the fence for the moment.
Okay, if you're sitting on the fence, okay, where are you looking maybe for a bit of each-way value?
To me, the Ballymore looks a very good race. The Bartlett looks a poor race. So far, this is the worst Supreme I've seen in a long time. Wow. I can't really... Let's see how Metier gets on at the weekend off 149.
What happens if he bolts up?
Yeah, well then you're talking about a serious danger, yeah. Like he's a lot on his plate this weekend in a very, very good race. Like Ballyadam is third favourite, and then you're into 20 to 1s like Blue Lord.
Ballyadam is a Grade 1 winner.
I know, but he was beaten at the weekend. The Real Deal is in there at 20s. I don't know, I think
Real
it's...
Deal has won 6 or 7 in a row.
Including the flat. He's 7-4, he's probably the right price. Would I back him at 7-4? No, I think I'd wait.
I'm reasonably content with my Blue Lord.
Are you?
Yeah, an early pick for me. I thought he ran a lovely race. I think slightly more positive ride in the Supreme with that experience under his belt. This is a good horse, Blue Lord, I think.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see.
And the section suggests that he was just not in the right place to strike. Obviously, the winner was...
Yeah, they didn't go a mad gallop. Like, as I said to you, Quilixias had a better time, so...
Yeah, I think he's a good horse, Blue Lord. It's a big ask to ask him to make up all that ground and appreciate it, but...
I think appreciate it is 7-4 because there's no opposition.
Okay, so my selection would be still Blue Lord each way. I think he's going to run a cracker.
I've no selection, and I haven't picked a horse for this race yet. Race yet.
All right, you have 5 weeks.
Yeah, I might yet.
Okay, is that the Supreme?
Yeah,
that's the Supreme. Now, what you want to know now is what's happening this week. Now, it's not quite as exciting as last weekend, but there's still plenty to look forward to. And it is a big day at Newbury. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
If that dreaded snow and frost and ice stays away, Gavin, we have got the return of the once mighty, maybe not so mighty anymore, Altior. Altior in the Game Spirit Chase. It's got a name change now, which is quite long. But the Altior we used to know, is he any longer?
I wouldn't give up on him yet. Like he ran obviously second at Christmas to Newbury and Warwick, never travelled a yard, didn't jump great. I would say to you that he's a lot better going left-handed. The 2 defeats at Ascot and there, obviously Ascot's right-handed too. So let's just see how it goes. Will I back him at even money at the weekend? No.
No.
Will I be cheering my lungs out from? Yes. Well, in my head. He's to beat Grenadine and Soul Royal. I think he'll beat them. Look at it, he's got a huge task.
I don't.
Do you not?
I don't. I think he would destroy them over 2.5 miles. I just think... I worry for his pace. I do. I think everything I see from Altior now suggests that he's slowing down. The class might still be there, but I think Sco Royal could beat him for toe.
Well, we thought that this time last year going into this race and he won it.
He did, yeah, but he wasn't impressive.
Yeah, he got there in the end, but sure, he never is. But anyway, it'll be very interesting to watch. I hope it's on.
And if he bolts up by about 10 lengths, you could be seeing my 6-pack.
Oh yeah, he's your lay of the meeting.
He is my lay of the meeting.
Well, at least you've got Shishkin Persuade to help you.
Yeah, so. At least I have a year to lose a bit of weight. Okay, the Dead Man Chase, the return of Champ.
Yes.
Now, where do we stand with Champ?
Sure, we don't know. We haven't seen him since the RSA. The thing I'd have against him, and let's see how he goes the weekend, is his jumping. His jumping is just okay. Even when he won the RSA, he made 3 or 4 mistakes. He got outpaced and rattled home up the hill to sicken anybody who backed him in Elindo. And I'll have no bet in this race, but I really look forward to watching it.
So you're talking about a dual King George winner in Clandas Oboe.
Yeah, but he's going left-handed.
They're joint favourites, right?
He's not as good left-handed.
No.
He's not.
No?
No.
Okay.
No, he might win, but I'm just stating a fact.
Okay, that's fair enough, yeah. Anything else there that we should be...
Lost in translation in it too, so it's a good race, and I look forward to it.
The Tizard team slightly turned the corner, maybe, fingers crossed.
Yeah, they're getting back into form.
Native River, obviously. So, who would you be with of those 3?
I'm going to say lost in translation, just so you don't keep asking me. But no opinion.
So the answer is nothing.
Nothing, no.
Nothing, okay.
But I can't wait to see it. It should be a very good race, very interesting to watch, and all eyes will be on Champ and his jumping.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. So hopefully Champ will do the business. And the Betfair Hurdle, Gavin.
I'll definitely have a couple of bets in this.
Now, hopefully it's one of mine. It has to be.
There's 2 I like in this.
It has to be the best handicap.
I think they're roughly about 8 to 1, 10 to 1. That betting will change obviously during the week. So the 2 I'd like in this is Cadzand and Soaring Glory.
You're joking me.
Don't say Mister Coffey now.
Yes, I'm saying Mister Coffey.
Actually, you're on about him the whole time.
Go on. Soaring Glory I can see, 133, yeah.
Yeah, so
well,
he beat Brave Man's Game.
He did a different Brave Man's Game, but he did,
yeah. He was second to Dusart. He was third to My Drogo at Ascot. And then also Cadzand I thought he was impressive at Christmas in Kempton in the handicap. I know that Dan Skelton seems to like him a lot, so I think I might have something on those two.
Well, you might get place money, Gavin, because this is Mister Coffey's race.
Go on, why?
I'll tell you why.
Why did he win the last day?
He didn't win the last day, right? Because it was Sandown.
And it was half three on a Saturday.
Yeah, he doesn't like running a half three. He doesn't like it.
Well,
no.
This race is actually 3:35.
Right, anyway. Yeah, see, it's a bit later. You know,
yeah, it's 5 minutes later, yeah.
But come here, what's the name of that bloody yoke that goes way off out in front and Sandown all the time? I should be able to remember. I'll think of it later in the show, right? But this horse runs in Sandown. What do you call it? It goes about a furlong clear. But he messes up every race. So it's heavy ground at Sandown.
Yes.
And this horse goes a furlong clear. And people are going, oh, do we go after him? Don't we go after him? And Mister Coffey was a bit awkward and things didn't go to plan, okay? Prior to that, he was very good at Sandown, okay? And Newbury is his track. I'm telling you, Newbury is his track. That long home straight, left-handed. He's back to the scene of where I thought he looked brilliant last Christmas. I thought he was a supreme horse. I put him up on this show last week.
Is this the horse you said will win next year?
Yeah, I said, yeah. This is a really good horse, Gavin.
Okay.
Like, you're laughing at me.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're being very condescending.
No.
People give out to me for being condescending to you.
No, I'm just saying.
You, Gavin, you will see a proper horse on Saturday.
Okay.
He had, like, in my head, he's 150 horse, so he has almost a stone in hand, I think, in my head.
He's
There's
off 138.
There's a lot of things that are wrong in my head. So if I think he is 12 pound in hand, he's off 138.
Yeah.
He's been laid out for the race. He's won at Newbury. Ground will be perfect. If he settles, now there's an asterisk next to his name because he needs to settle. Okay. But if he settles, Gavin, I'll be devastated if he's not bang there. And I really will, like, because it means I know nothing about racing,
and,
which a lot of people would say that's true.
We'll also have to keep an eye on Metier off 149, more or less top weight, but for the Supreme.
Yeah, like Metier has to give Mister Coffey £11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'll be a good race.
He's a good horse, Cal. I'm telling you, he's a good horse.
Okay.
Please believe me.
Okay. The next one we have is the Kingmaker.
Yeah.
In Warwick.
All Mankind.
Brilliant track to watch a chase, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's
those fences before the home straight.
Yeah, there's 5 down the back straight. It's like Sandown sort of in reverse. But All Mankind is 5-4. Sky Pirate, who I like, is 5-2. Obviously, All Mankind will try and make odds. Sky Pirate will track him. Sky Pirate is the one that I thought was a banker for the Grand Annual, but they're kind of messing things up. I hope he finishes second and still goes for the Grand Annual.
I like, how do you pronounce it, Nichols?
Cheltenham?
No.
Oh, Tamarack de Matin.
Tamarack de Matin, second to Shishkin. I still think he's a good horse. I think he could win this.
Yeah, he was very impressive the previous time. So, just to mention as well that Ascaria 10 is entered for a handicap this week. I think his official rate in Ireland is 147. I did, a friend of mine sent me a message saying that he has a rate in England of 145, but I don't think that's correct. So we'll see that.
140?
No, there was a lot of change in that last week. So anyway, he's entering a handicap this week. So by in the next day or two, we'll know what rating he got.
Okay.
I think he'll get above 145 for the Kim York.
Okay.
Nace on Saturday, we've got the Opera Hat, and please God, Ellie May runs and wins. I'd like to see that happen. And on Punchtown on Sunday, we've got a decent 2-mile novice hurdle. So that's it.
Okay, so plenty to look forward to.
Yep.
Your banker of the weekend is?
Oh, I will go for Sky Pirate.
Okay, and I will go for Mister Coffey. So up in the Ante viewers, it's time to have a quick look at our Ante-Post portfolios. And I think we'll move on to Gavin's, because Gavin, it was a fantastic couple of days for you. There are people there, you're not on Twitter, but there are people who tweet me, talking about rubbing it in. There's people who tweet me who tell me that you're the best tipster in the world. And I suppose weekends events would back up their points.
Not at all.
Go on, just gloat there for a few minutes.
No. Look I think I've tipped up 18 or 19 horses, which is a lot. So what happens every year with Ante-Post betting is you're going to get 5 or 6 of them gone, 5 or 6 of them similar, and then hopefully maybe half of them dropped in price. So that's roughly what's happened. Gallard de Menil, that's a good one.
Yes, Statler is good.
I think Statler's got a great chance.
Kilcrot, 14-1 you tipped up Kilcrot.
Yeah, well, I tell you what happened last year is I tipped up Appreciated 14-1, right? Owned by the Mathesons, trained by Willie, ridden by Patrick, okay? Right? So he goes to Cheltenham, goes off 15-8 favourite, so I'm happy out, think I'm great. And the next thing, a horse...
They are great guy.
Fernie Hollow comes and beats him.
Yeah.
Owned by Cheveley Park. Yeah. And this year, we've got Kilcrot, owned by the Mathesons, Willie, Patrick, and I just hope a Cheveley Park horse doesn't come and sicken me again.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
But no, I'd be very hopeful that Kilcrot, he just looks an exceptional horse. And he looks a fast horse. I'd say Patrick will ride him for gears in Cheltenham.
Absolutely. Like everything that needed to go well for you this weekend in the novice races, Gallard de Menil. Like, Gallard de Menil Statler race went perfectly for your tips because they both, one is favourite for the Ballymore, one enhanced his Albert Bartlett claims.
Yeah. I think if the two of them win, we'll have to have an Upping The Ante party next Christmas.
Will we be allowed?
Yeah, we'll have it in the, what's it called, the Boar's Head, is it?
The Boar's Head, yeah. With Hugh.
I'll go a free bar for an hour anyway.
Will you, if the two of them win? For everybody watching the show?
Yeah.
All 250,000 of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a small
Better
pub.
than extension now, Hugh.
It's a small pub. But Concertista must have a good chance now that Honeysuckle is going for the champion hurdle. Yeah. So anyway, not too bad.
And just a quick little glance at mine there. St. Sam enhances claims for the Boodles, and I think it's time to have a look at what we're going to tip this week. So it's selection time. Yes, our latest instalment of picks for the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. And Gavin, you have the honour because it was such a brilliant weekend for you. I'm going to give you the honour. You deserve it. Stand up.
Okay.
It better be good now.
No. So I'm going for a favourite. I'm going for a horse that I tipped up last year. He's only 3-1, but I think he's running in an average enough Gold Cup, and it's Album.
You're joking me.
No. So wait now.
My little daughter, Georgia,
you said this last year,
is 9 months old.
Yeah.
She can't even talk, and she could have come in here and told everybody that Album Photo might win the Gold Cup at 3-1.
Can she say the 3 words Album and Photo? Can she?
She's saying Dada at the minute, and
good.
Mama, Dada, but I don't think she knows what it means.
No.
Anyway, do you want to know why? Why should viewers back Album Photo at 3-1 now, Gavin? And you're going to have to be good here.
Okay. If you put €10 on at 3-1, somebody will give you back €40 in March. That's why you back him at 3-1.
Yeah, but why?
Now, last year I tipped him up at 3 or 4-1, and you give out to me saying, Ash, anybody could tip up Album Photo.
Yeah, so
did he win?
So it's good luck. Good luck.
It's the same story again.
Okay, go on, tell me. Why now?
Because
why now? Why not wait till the day? This
I want
is an Ante-Post show.
I want him on the team. I think we've had all the trials and tribulations.
No, we haven't. There's one on Saturday.
The 10-man chase.
So there's the first lie. Go on.
So we've had the Irish Gold Cup. We've had all the Christmas racing. I just haven't seen anything that's going to beat him. He's only 9 years old, which is the same age as Shishkin Pursois, just to tell you. So he won his first Gold Cup at 7. 9-year-olds have a good record in the race. The only two that you could possibly be anyway worried about is a Plutard and Roy Pagaille. They're both 7. They're both up and coming. But all these other horses, I think Champ's Jumping's not good enough. Santini I can't have in a million years. Native River is 11. Then you're into like Ken Boys. He doesn't like Cheltenham. Frodon is not going to get a solo. Manila Indo was bad at the weekend. Just what's going to beat him? Like in the last almost 3 years, he's only had 6 runs. So he's a very, very fresh horse. He's done the same thing as always. Goes to Tramore, goes to Cheltenham. In 2019 in the Gold Cup, if you go look at the start of that Gold Cup, he slightly misses the break. He gets boxed at the first, he makes a slight mistake, and he's last after the first fence. They went a proper gallop that year and he won. Last year was a mess of a race. They went so slowly. So they all finished in a heap. He wins by a half a length. This year there's probably going to be a good gallop, as I said, with Frodon and Native River. I just think he's got a massive chance. I think it's a poor Gold Cup. I think next year, you know, when you've got things like Monkfish and Envoi Allen, it's going to be a different race.
But this year, last year we were probably going, it's going to be some Gold Cup next year. Manila Indo, Allaho, Champ.
But they haven't just...
Mellon, Samcro, Faheen. Do you know what I mean? Like novices are always going to be exciting. I know this year looks a bit different, all right.
This year looks definitely different. So I just think I have to have him on the team, and I think now is a good time to pick because there's been no standout, and he'll run his race. And I think 3-1. I think he'll go off 2-1, 9-4 on the day. There was good money from him the day I think last year. So yeah, Album Photo 3-1.
Okay, I was only pulling your leg really. Georgia can't talk. Okay, it is my selection now, and while Gavin is going for a rock solid horse that's won the race 2 years before, that, you know, ticks every box, I'm doing my usual. I'm plucking one from the air. Yeah, I am going for the horse that I just think, he just gets me every time, Gavin. He gets me every time, and this is last chance, okay? This is last chance. I am going for Entukas in the Grand Annual, 18-1 for the Grand Annual, and let me tell you why, Gavin, okay? Start of the season, right, with Entukas, he was one of these hurdlers who I always thought he was going to make a better chaser because he kept finishing second in maiden hurdles. I think he was the horse that knocked over poor Pat Healy at Navan one day. But when he won his maiden hurdle towards the end of the season, he beat Fakira 5 lengths convincingly. Yes, Fakira needs further, okay? Still, good run, okay? Then this season he comes out, he finished second to in Tipperary, okay, and then he was second again to Blackbow and Navan, okay. But he's ran in 3 rock solid handicaps, okay, 3 rock solid handicaps where you learn so much. It's a learning curve for Tukas all season. He's learned so much. He's learned how to jump, and you could even see it at the weekend. His jumping has improved so much. He was jumping as well as any of them seasoned handicappers. I was really impressed with his jumping. He finished 4th. He's gone up a pound to a mark of 139. Okay, so the likelihood is he'll be running the Grand Annual off a mark in around 140, somewhere around that. Okay, I think he is a 150 rated chaser. Okay, so that means I think he's got £10 in hand. Whether that's enough, I don't know. And he needs to go and win races. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's an early horse. He hasn't done it. But he's a young horse. He's a novice. He's running the Grand Annual. JP has a good record in the race. And I think he's a horse that could just be a nice few pounds ahead of his mark. Okay. I think he's still improving. Yeah,
I'd say he'll definitely be fancy for the race. You've mentioned on the show once or twice before. The thing I'd love is that he's a novice. Because as we said last year, all 5 handicaps at Cheltenham were won by novices. I didn't like him in his second last run of Fairyhouse. He made 4 mistakes. At the weekend, his jumping was much better.
Much better, yeah.
Much better. You just wonder why he didn't quicken from the back of the last. But yeah, he'd have a chance, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I just think, it's been a gradual process, and I'm hoping he reaches peak in the Grand Annual. That is in Tukas for the Grand Annual. So that's it for episode 14 of Upping The Ante. Just 5 weeks to go, ladies and gentlemen. Gavin, it's getting exciting.
It is. The next thing you're going to start seeing Cheltenham preview nights done by Zoom and so on. But yeah, 5 weeks, it's amazing. It's getting close, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And anything to look forward to this week?
Look, hopefully some of those races will be on. It'd be great to see Newbury on, some very good racing there. But look,
I meant like with the snow and stuff.
Oh, snow.
Will you be out playing with the kids?
Yeah, we'll be going down to Rathfight Church and be rolling down the valley. And
are you a good snowman builder? Would you wear? I'd say you'd be the type to wear gloves now. I couldn't see you getting down with your bare hands.
No, gloves, 100%,
Yeah, I knew.
So, it'll be good fun. The kids love it, and obviously they're off school at the moment, so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something to look forward to. A little bit of snow, but just for a day.
Just for a day,
a little bit of snow, and then let's have Newbury.
Exactly.
That's my motto anyway. So we hope you enjoyed the show. Next week we'll be back for episode 15, when there'll just be 4 weeks to go. Thanks for watching. Come back next week, same time, same place.